morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Where's everybody coming in from? I'm just getting set up here. I am live streaming on my YouTube channel. I'm on my laptop, and I'm also I'm going to that right now. I'm going live on TikTok as well. So if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Let's see. Love to know why you're on social media. Good morning. Good morning. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'm just trying to get this set up. Follow me. Okay, good morning. Good morning. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'm going to continue the conversation I had from yesterday. I was going to talk more about how to make $10,000 on autopilot. If that's something you're interested in doing, if you're trying to use social media, I'd love to know if you're jumping on, where you're coming in from. Why are you on social media? Love to know. Tell me something you like. I love movies. I love nothing like going to a movie and seeing it on the big screen, which I'm going to be doing that later. A friend and I were going to see Sorry Baby, which is a true story. It's supposed to be really good. So if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Would love to know why you're on social media. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. And I've been talking about how you can make $10,000 on autopilot. If you're trying to use social media and you're not using automation and leverage, you're missing out, because you could do some things that could make it a lot easier for you. And get a better result. And it doesn't matter why you're on social media. If you have a cause that you're supporting, you got an online, offline business, and you're trying to get exposure, if you're using social media and you're not using automation and leverage, you're missing out. I use it. And that's part of the reason. I've been talking about how you can make $10,000 on autopilot. You need to have a proven system in place. And if you're not sending people to something like a capture page where you can get their email address. Good morning, Mason. Good morning, Eddie. Good morning, Rose. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. But if you don't have something like that in place where you're sending people to a capture page that you can get their email address, and ideally you want to be giving out something free that's congruent with whatever you're doing. So if you have a weight loss product, you could give away a PDF that says something like 5 tips to help you lose weight without starving yourself. They're not that hard to make. If you want to do it on yourself, you could do it with Canva, or you can go to a site called Fiverr.com. They do $5 gigs. You could have somebody make a PDF for you. Good morning, Profits. Bora Hoba. I'm not sure, what do people call you. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Fern. Good morning, Betty. Been talking about how you can make $10,000 on autopilot. And if you're using social media and you don't have a proven system in place that you can send people to, that's working for you 24/7, because when you set up a website, and if you have it set up correctly and you have a proven system, you can attach a series of emails that go out automatically when somebody comes to your site. And you're building an email list. You want to build an email list because you don't own or control your social media accounts. I've lost many of them, and I've had to start all over again and build them up again from zero. So you definitely, if you're not doing that, and if you don't know what a capture page or website looks like, mine is payudaily.com. That's a capture page, a website, a landing page, a squeeze page. They're all the same thing. People call them different things. But if you're using social media and you're not sending people to something like that, that system can work for you 24/7, you're missing out. And I spent a whole year doing that. I was sending people to a replicated website. I didn't have a mentor. I was setting up pay-per-click ads. I spent $3,000 and I didn't make any money. And replicated websites, don't really convert, and you don't want to send people to a sales page. Now, you could get a sale, but the issue is you only have one opportunity to talk to that person. And if you don't keep talking to them, and I had somebody who she got on my email list in October of 2024. I did talk to her a few times on Instagram, and she just bought something from me in July. I mean, that was 10 months. I mean, if you're using social media and you're generating leads for something and you're not nurturing those leads, it's pretty hard to start making sales, because people, and you think of your own buying habits, they have to see something multiple times. And I do get sales on first touch. That does happen, but most people are going to have to see something, 3, 4, 5 times or more, until they make a decision. Yeah, if you could, I'd really appreciate it if you guys could like the video. It would help me out, whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on YouTube. But if you're not doing that, and if you think about your own, when you go to buy something, you may see something in a store, you may see it online, and you may go back multiple times to look at it again. And especially, well, some people, especially high ticket, people probably take a lot longer, like a house or a car. But if you're not capturing people's information, and I would recommend to you that you try to give something away for free. I have a free PDF that I give out. And it could be a PDF, it could be an ebook, it could be a free webinar training. If you're promoting somebody else's program, they may have something that you could do, that you could give out, or you can make something on your own. It's really not that hard to make like an ebook or a PDF. But you giving that free thing away for people in exchange for people giving you their email address. And I take that very seriously. When somebody gives me their email address to keep communicating with them, um, and if you're not doing that, it's automation and leverage. That's the other thing. If you're not automating stuff and then leverage, you're leveraging somebody else's. I mean, you could join an affiliate program, or I do digital marketing, and get resale rights and the ability to sell and promote somebody else's product. You don't have to make the product. You don't have to do the customer service. There's no shipping or any of that. And that, I mean, that's one example of leverage that you can use if you're not using it. And then they give you training. Good morning, James. Good morning, Lindy Lou. What do people call you? Good morning, Joseph. Good morning, Sax Music. Good morning, Blue Z. Good morning, Amber. Good morning, Jinger Girl 4. What do people call you? But I've been talking about how you can make $10,000 on autopilot, because that system that you have that you're sending people to, that's running for you 24/7. And that's how I wake up to sales. I could be doing something else, and make some money. And that's where the automation comes in. And you can get this down to 2 hours a day. I mean, and that doesn't mean the people you see making money, it's because they were coachable, they were consistent, they put in the work, and there is work involved. Good morning, Derek. Good morning, Tara. Good morning, Wild Wind. Good morning, Christina. Good morning, San Munita. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Would love to know why you're on social media. But I've been talking about how you can make $10,000 on autopilot. If you don't have something set up in place, and when I first started this, I did it for a year. I didn't have a proven system. I didn't have a mentor. And if you're not sending people to something where you can collect their email, get them on your email list that you can keep communicating, and then those emails are set up automatically 24/7. You just have to, I mean, if you're using social media, you can get off free traffic. I mean, I've used social media and gotten over, tens of thousands of leads for free. You can do paid marketing, but you can end up spending a lot of money on that and not get the result that you're looking for. So if you're not doing that, and I'm just curious, why, and people that are popping on, why you're on social media. And even if you have a cause, an offline business, an online business, or a message you're trying to get out, social media gives you the ability to reach billions of people every single day for free. So if you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'd love to know why you're on social media. I do online marketing and making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. It'll be 14 years I've been doing this in September. And I've learned a lot of things. I don't know everything. If you have a question or you're trying to figure something out, but I've been just talking about this whole concept of how you can make $10,000 on autopilot. you have this system that even and you can get it down to 2 hours a day that's working for you 24 and 7. And if all you're doing, if you're just getting on social media, and that's great, and you have the ability to reach billions of people that way, if you're not sending people to something, and it's preferable that you give something away for free. Um, Alan, Derek, you're not that far from me. I live outside the city of Philadelphia. If you're not doing that and sending people to an automated system where you can continue to keep talking to them, and that's running for you 24 and 7, you're it's probably spending more time trying to do something than you really need to, and you don't really have an effective system in place to send people to. And I didn't. And when I first started doing this, I didn't know that. I bought a website. I was setting up pay-per-click ads, sending people to a replicated website, which you never want to do. You never want to send people to a sales page either. I see people doing paid marketing and they're sending people to a sales page. And yeah, sure, you could get a sale. I mean, I do get some sales on first touch, but in general, most people are going to have to see something a couple times, 5 times, 10 times, 12 times more than that. I just had someone who she got on my email last October 2024. I did talk to her a few times on Instagram in between that. And then she just bought something from me in July. So that was 10 months. I mean, if you're getting leads every day and then you're not continuing to nurture them and communicate with them, because people do business with people, they don't join companies. They're not going to get the chance to know you. They'll be off your page in, a second. And yeah, you can get people following you on social media, but none of us own our accounts. I've lost many accounts that I've had to start again from zero. In fact, this TikTok account, I started posting on, it was new last June. I started posting every day, and the same thing with my Instagram. And I'm almost at 75,000 followers on TikTok, and I'm close to 100,000 on Instagram. Those are both newer accounts. I lost my other accounts. I had to start again. And if you do lose your account, that unfortunately, that's what happens. You have to start again from zero. So your email list is really the only thing online you own and control, because you don't own your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time. If you don't like something, they can come back and issue you a community guidelines violation and then delete your account. You could just do something that they don't like and your account could be gone. And there's plenty of people out there hacking social media accounts. So I mean, I've got a bunch of people creating fake accounts of me. I don't DM people asking you for money. I don't do crypto. I don't do Forex. It's not me. The way you can tell it's a fake account, if you go up and look at the person's username, if you look at my username on TikTok, it's the real Linda Bomba. Their username, it's slightly different. They put an extra letter, an extra character in it. There's something about it that's slightly different because they do go and they steal your pictures. I've had people rip off my videos and then they go and they post it on an account they make under your name. And Meta tells me that the fake accounts aren't against their community guidelines, but there's a ton of them. Like, and Instagram, I'm verified. I pay for that. And all these people making all these fake accounts, and I have people messaging me that there's somebody else, or one of them that she's my mentor, and I know it's not her, because if you look, that's the best way to tell. On Instagram, I am certified or verified or whatever they call it. So if it's not on Instagram, if it's not a verified account, it's not me. And so be careful out there, because there's a lot of stuff going on and people are doing that. It's unethical, but unfortunately that's what happens. And we're in this, the cyberspace world online. That you're talking to people, but unless you know somebody, and there's people that I first met them online and then I met them in person, that that person is real, but if you got any kind of following on social media, most likely people are going to start trying to create fake accounts of you, and then they go messaging people, trying to get money and asking them for money and saying they can. Somebody tell me if I gave her, I don't know, $1,500, she could turn it into $18,000 in like 15 minutes. Which, I mean, that just sounds so crazy. And it was a fake account. It is somebody I'm friends with on Facebook, but it wasn't her. So be careful out there. And that's why, if you don't have a proven system in place that you're sending people to, that you can capture their information, because you don't own your social media accounts. You can lose them at any time. You want to build an email list. And if you don't know what a website or a capture page looks like, you can go to mine. It's payudaily.com. That's, and they all look a little different, but there's a place there for somebody to opt in. I do have a free PDF I give out that I talk about a blueprint I'm using, that's making the conversation possible, that you could make $10,000 on autopilot, because the blueprint teaches you about using a proven system, about using social media. We teach you the correct way to use social media, because there are a lot of people out there that are using social media and they're not doing it correctly. They're creating fake accounts, which Meta tells me that's not against their community guidelines violation. But if they're going and taking someone else's picture and then ripping off their video, that's really like stealing someone's content. And Meta, and then they don't have anything, they'll tell you, oh, it's not against our community guidelines violation. But I've had how many people do it? I did have somebody hack my one Instagram account. I lost it. I had two others. Instagram suspended them, and then they came back and told me they didn't rule in my favor. So I lost all three of those accounts. That, and the account I have now, I've had it for a little over a year. You have to start from zero. Good morning, Tracy. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Alice. Good morning, Barbara. Where are you coming in from? Love to know why you're on social media. Tell me something you like. I love going to the movies and seeing the movie on big screen. In fact, I'm doing that today with a friend and I. We're going out later. And that's what makes it cool about this business. I can work 2 hours a day and then you're done. And I've worked plenty of jobs. I lost my job. I had a 2 to 3 hour commute at that job, which I don't miss. And now basically my commute is up a flight of stairs, because my office is upstairs in my house, where I'm sitting right now. So you have your freedom. I don't need to ask anybody if I need to go do something. And if you have a job, you're going to have to ask your boss if you need time off, you want to take a vacation, or something happens and you're coming in late. If you could like my video, I'd really appreciate it. That would really help me out a lot. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'd love to know why you're on social media. I do online marketing and making money from home. And I teach other people how to do the same thing. And I've been talking about here on these live streams the last few days, how you can make $10,000 on autopilot. If anybody's interested in that, drop a yes. Because it's pretty cool. And if you're on social media, you could be monetizing it, or maybe you are, or maybe you're trying to, and you're having trouble figuring it out, because you can use social media. It doesn't matter the reason that you're using it. You can use it to monetize it and get in front of, there's billions of people every single day on social media, that you can get your message out, your cause, if you have an offline business, online business, whatever it is that you're doing, because and there is the right way to use social media. If you're seeing people spamming people, messaging people on any platform and sending them a link to anything, you're spamming them. If professional marketers, if you're going to do that, you get the person's permission first, that they're open to taking a look at whatever it is. You don't want to be sending people links like that. And I get people doing that. It's not, there's kind of etiquette on social media, and that's not something that you should do. And if somebody's brand new, you may not know any better, but you don't want to do that. If you are wanting to prospect people like that, you need to ask them in advance if they'd be open to taking a look at something you're doing. You explain a little bit about what it was, but you never want to send people to something. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Kenneth. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Let them know why you're on social media. If you can give my video a like, I'd really appreciate it. It would help me out in the channel. I'm going to be talking about how you can make $10,000 on autopilot. And if you want to monetize social media, you can do that for free. But if you're building an audience on any social media platform, it doesn't matter which one it is, if you're not sending people to something where you can capture their email system, and you're getting them in a proven system that will keep sending them emails and communicating with them, you're missing out, because that can be working for you 24/7. My mentor has used it, and actually she's made $6 million now in like the last 2.5 years, and she'll probably hit 7 or higher before December 31st. She's completely set herself and her family free. I mean, her daughter's a hairstylist, and she was working for somebody else. And she's like, well, I'll just buy you a beauty salon. So she bought her a beauty salon. Um, the more money you make, the more good you can do in the world. And it's freedom. And you don't, I mean, and I've been broke, unemployed, in foreclosure. I've worked, live paycheck to paycheck. How many people on here are living paycheck? If you have a job, living paycheck to paycheck, or people that are trying to live off of Social Security, which I don't see how anybody can live off of that. I've done that. I've been broke. It sucks when you're broke. I was struggling to keep $1 in my checking account. When I was working jobs, I was living paycheck to paycheck. Um, and most in those situations, if you have an emergency, it could be anything, your car, or a leak in your roof, or you could have a medical expense. Do you know how you would pay for it? Because most people, if they had an emergency, you have no idea how you're going to pay for that. Drop me in the comments. How many people here are working jobs and you're living paycheck to paycheck? How many people are, in debt? I mean, and I can relate to that too, because after I lost 3 jobs, I found myself drowning in $250,000 of debt. And I found this industry. I couldn't find a job. It was the worst job market ever. People were getting like 1,500 resumes. So, I mean, I get it. And this industry, digital marketing, it could completely change your life. And it has changed to people, so many people, not just me. If you're willing to put the work in, you can't. I mean, this isn't, you just go sign up for something and you're going to be making all this money. You got to do the work. You can get this down to doing it 2 hours a day if you follow. This is a blueprint that lays out showing what to do, telling you what to do, helping you get a system set up that you're sending people, that you can collect their emails. We give you a free PDF that you can use, that you can give away. I do suggest, if you're trying to build an audience on social media and you're trying whatever it is, even if it's a cause or something you support, that you can make your own. It could be a PDF, it could be an ebook, it could be a webinar training, that you're giving people away something for free in exchange for them giving you your email address. It's permission-based email marketing. I was talking about that the other day. Anytime somebody opts in to your website and they're giving you their email address, they're giving you permission to keep communicating with them, to market to them. And you don't want to use anybody else's leads, but you want to get them to give it to you, because when they do, they're saying to you, okay, you can communicate with me, you can market to me. You don't want to take somebody else's leads or their email address. It's not ethical. You want to get the leads yourself. So good morning. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Would love to know why you're on social media. Tell me something you like. I love going to the movies, seeing it on the big screen, which I'm doing later today. Would love to know why you're on. I've been talking about, and anybody interested in how you can make $10,000 on autopilot. Because if you're spending time on social media and you're doing everything manually and you're not automating anything, if you're not leveraging anything, you could be doing it much more efficiently, and you wouldn't have to spend. And I know I've spent tons of time without having a system like this on social media, and you don't want to. I felt like I was living in Facebook Messenger. If you use leverage and automation, you can make things, automatic, that they're working for you 24/7, no matter what you're doing, even if you're sleeping. So if you're not doing that, it's ideal if you're, whatever the reason is you're on, whatever you're trying to do, it's ideal if you can give people away something for free. You could have, if you've got a company that you're promoting or a cause, you could start a newsletter, that you could, put it on your website and say to people, if you want to, hear from us and get any updates and stuff, they give you your email address and you can email them out. Good morning, Fuzzy. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Apple user 33797. What do people call you? If you're jumping on, good morning, Heather. I'd love to know where you're coming in from, why you're on social media. I'm talking about today how you can make $10,000 on autopilot. And I'm talking about, you need systems in place. And if you're using social media and you're not using any kind of leverage or automation, you're creating more work and you could be doing it more efficiently. That's how many of us, we've got it down to 2 hours a day. Not that we have to put in work. You have to put in work. But you can get this done in 2 hours a day, and then have, do whatever you want, and have those systems are in place running 24/7. Like on my Instagram account, anytime anybody comments and they want more information, I have software that responds automatically. It sends people my website, and then I'm generating leads using that. And that runs 24/7 for me. 365 days a year, nonstop, unless something, Instagram would crash or something. So if you're not using that, you're really missing out. You could be getting much better results, and be much more efficient, and spend less time. You learn attraction marketing. You have people come to you, which is way better. You don't have to chase anybody. You don't have to chase family and friends. You don't have to go messaging people, asking them if they take a look. And that's prospecting, and that works. This, we're talking about marketing, talking about online leverage automation, and how to use attraction marketing to attract people to you. So you don't have to, you're not chasing anybody. You're not chasing family and friends. You're not asking anybody. You just have to, get set up, and and you're driving traffic. If you're already on social media, you can turn your social media profiles into an ATM. Good morning. Is it Heck? Good morning, Chelsea. Good morning, Apple user 33797. What do people call you? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Would love to know why you're on social media. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. I'm live streaming right now because of technology. I'm on my phone on my TikTok account, and I'm on my MacBook Pro on YouTube, and it's streaming to both places at once. I don't have to do this again. And what's really cool about YouTube will automatically, when I stop live streaming, upload the actual recording of this whole thing to my YouTube channel, so it becomes a piece of content. And you can also get monetized. You can make money on YouTube by the ads that you let Google run ads on your your videos. You do have to go through a certain thing to get qualified and then apply. Good morning, Shinda. Good morning, Jill. Good morning, Nicole. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. If you could give my video a like, I'd really appreciate it. It would help out my TikTok account and my YouTube channel, wherever you're coming in from. Good morning, Patricia. Good morning, Dee. Good morning, Nicole. Good morning. Is it LV408? What do people call you? And I'd love to know why you're on social media. You must be on something for some reason. I do know I did have a guy tell me he was bored, so he just gets on TikTok. I've been talking about how you can make $10,000 on autopilot, if that's something that interests you. And you need a system in place that if you're using social media, and you're building an audience, and you're reaching out to people, because there's billions and billions and billions of people on social media every single day. Whatever you're doing on social media, if you got a cause, you're supporting a company, you got an online business, and you're trying to get exposure for it. If you have an automated system, and you're not sending people to something that ideally you're giving them something free in exchange for their email address, and getting them on your email list, because people need to see things. And yeah, I get sales on first touch, but most people are not. They're going to have to see something a couple times, 5 times, 10 times, 12 times before they make a buying decision. If you think about your own buying decisions, if you see something you like, how many times? Good morning, Laura. Good morning, Angie. Good morning, Bill. How many times do you have to look at something before you make a decision that you're going to buy something? And I had somebody who, she got on my email list in October of 2024. I did talk to her a few times on Instagram, and she just bought something from me in July. So that's 10 months. If you're using social media to generate leads, you have to nurture them. And if you get them on your email list, you can keep communicating with them. Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Jessica. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If you're not doing that, and you're not getting them on an email list where you can keep communicating with them, because yeah, social media is great. I've had many accounts that I've lost, and I had to start over again from zero. You don't own it. You don't control it. You can lose it at any time. You want to be doing that and sending people. people call it different things. It's a website, a capture page, a landing page, a squeeze page, getting their email address, and ideally be giving them something away for free that's congruent with whatever you're doing. If weight loss is your thing, you could give them like a PDF, 5 ways to lose weight and not starve yourself. Whatever your cause is, I know there's women on here that are supporting domestic violence because they've been victims of it. You could put some sort of PDF together. If you think of when you were in that situation, what things might have helped you, you might be able to put some resources. For a woman to get your PDF, that if she needs to talk to somebody or she's trying to get out and she can't, you know better what people would need, but it's got to be congruent to whatever you're doing. Good morning, Carolina. Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Pastor George. Good morning, Cozy 28. What do people call you? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'd really appreciate it if you like my video, whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on YouTube. That would help my YouTube channel out, and that would help my TikTok account. Good morning, Manna Payday. Where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. I do online marketing, making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. Been talking about how you can make $10,000 on autopilot. If you don't have a proven system that you're using, and no matter what the reason is, that you're on social media, that you're sending people to, that you can get their email address and preferably give them something away for free in exchange for their email address. You're missing the opportunity to keep talking to people. And yeah, social media is great. I've used this. I had another TikTok account. I had over 200,000 followers. I've generated tens of thousands of leads. If you're using social media, and I lost how many accounts, you want to be sending people to something that goes into a proven system that works for you 24/7. So no matter what happens, there's a series of emails that continue to go out to the people that they keep hearing from you. And you don't have to do anything once you get that set up. All you're doing is, and if you're on social media already, you're using social media to expose whatever it is that you're doing, and then sending them to people to something that you're giving them something for free in exchange for their email address. And if you're not doing that, you could set up a simple newsletter on a website that, whatever it is, I don't know, say it's gardening, you have a PDF with tips, gardening tips, or you put people on your newsletter and say, if you want to get updates from us, and they give you your email address and you can send emails out. Good morning. Is it Travel and Mystic? What do people call you? Good morning, Donna. Good morning, Lorena. Where are you coming in from? I'd love to know why you're on social media. I'm talking about how you can make $10,000 on autopilot. Is anybody interested in that? Drop me a comment. If I saw somebody's live, I'd be jumping on too. Good morning, Sue. Good morning, Dee. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. If you like my video, I'd really appreciate it. Whether you're on my TikTok account or you're on my YouTube channel, I'm live streaming on my phone on TikTok, and I'm live streaming on my MacBook Pro to YouTube. And because of technology, I have technology that I can do that. And I've been talking today about how you can make $10,000 on autopilot. It's how I wake up that I made money. It's how, if I'm out doing something, I get a notification on my phone that I made money. It's because I have a proven system that's working for me 24/7. And regardless whether I'm on social media or not, that system works for me 24/7. Good morning, Julinda. How are you? Thank you for liking the video. It works for me 24/7, no matter what I'm doing, even if I'm sleeping. And if you're trying to monetize social media, you got a cause, you got something, a company you're supporting, you got a business, online, offline, you can monetize it and send people, get them from your YouTube, your TikTok, whatever social media platform you're on, because they all work, and keep communicating with them. I mean, in fact, I just had somebody who she actually got on my email list in October of 2024. I did talk to her a few times on Instagram, and she just bought something from me in July. That's 10 months. If you're getting leads, you have to nurture them and your email list. And you use a tool called an autoresponder, which most of them you can start for free. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Um, that you can get people on that and keep nurturing it. And she was on my email list for 10 months. Um, and if you're doing that, and I did talk to her in between that on Instagram several times. Good morning, Ginger. If you're not doing that and you're not nurturing the leads you're getting, and I spent a whole year doing that. I just was sending people to a replicated website. I spent $3,000 on pay-per-click ads. Nothing converted. And I know that you don't know what you don't know. Thanks. Have a good day. If you don't know what you don't know, um, and I didn't know that. And if I had a mentor and I didn't have a mentor, you need a mentor. A mentor could have pointed it out to me and said, "You're sending traffic to a replicated website." And replicated websites in general don't convert. You don't want to send people to a sales page either. I mean, and you could get a sale, but the reality is, most people do have to see something more than a couple times, sometimes 5 times, 10 times, 12 times or more before they make a buying decision. You don't know. And if you think about your own buying habits, maybe you see something in a store and then you look at it online, or you saw it online first and then you go to the store because you want to see it. You want to, actually see it, talk to somebody about it, that you're seriously considering about buying. How many times do you look at something? And I know I do the same thing. Like I may see a pair of shoes and I may look at it multiple times before I make a buying decision. Most people are going to have to do that. And yes, it's certainly possible that you can get sales on first touch. I have, but most people are going to have to see something multiple times before they decide. And if you're building, and in the world we live in, and especially with all the fake accounts on social media, trust is even more. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. People join people, not companies. And it's more about them getting to know, like, and trust you. That's why, so many people I've met doing this, they're not consistent. And if you're not consistent, and when I say every day, I mean 7 days a week. I've been here doing these lives every day for the last like 3 or 4 weeks, and I continue to keep doing these, showing up every single day. You'll never get anyone to follow you. And unfortunately, most of the people I talk to, they're not doing that. I mean, you just can't. I mean, I've been posting 3 videos a day on my TikTok and my Instagram account for the last over a year. I show up every single day. If you are wanting to build an audience on social media, I mean, if you're not doing that, it's really hard. People will go find somebody who does the same thing that you do, and they show up every single day. There's so many people I talk to since I've been doing this, and it'll be 14 years I've been doing this in September. They're not consistent. And if you're not consistent, then you have to dig deeper why you're doing this. Because the reason you're doing this isn't so painful to you that it's not gonna push you when you don't feel like working, because you will have days you don't feel like working. Good morning, Ned. Good morning, Sherry. Good morning, Junior Wiggins. What do people call you? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'd love to know why you're on social media. I do online marketing, making money from home. And today I've been talking about how you can make $10,000 on autopilot. If that's something that interests anybody, drop a yes in the comments. And this is not a really very talkative group this morning. Good morning, Dolores. Good morning, Sherry. If you're jumping on, love to know where you're coming in from. Why are you on social media? Tell me something you like. I like seeing movies in the theater. In fact, I'm doing that later today. Nothing like seeing a movie on the big screen. And I do stream, and I have Netflix and all that at home, but going to the theater, I think, is still not the same thing. Good morning, Shannon. Good morning. Okay, user 2074-752-2130. What do people call you? Yeah, the people that have a user like that on TikTok, they've got no face profile picture, and those are numbers that I believe TikTok gives out because you haven't set your account up and put your name on it or something, whatever you're doing. So that's how they come up. And if you're seriously using, or maybe you're just on here because you don't have anything else to do. I did have somebody tell me that he was bored, so he gets on TikTok. I said, okay, and jumped on my live. Yeah, if you're, I also talked about that the other day. I talked about optimizing your social media profile because you want to set it up a certain way um, to attract people to you and so people know you're real. And you definitely don't want to be trying to build an audience and not have your picture on your profile, not put a name or what you identify yourself with, what the reason you're there. I did discuss that on TikTok and Instagram. There's not a lot of room for you to say what you're about. So if people come to your profile, they know what you're about. Good morning. Good morning. If you're jumping on, I appreciate anybody. If you like my video, whether you're on um, TikTok or YouTube, I really appreciate it. It helped my channel out. It helped my TikTok account. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Why are you on social media? Tell me something you like. I'm on social media. I do online marketing and making money from home, and I teach other people how to do the same thing. Monetize your social media correctly. I do digital marketing, so I don't have to deal with products, customer service, shipping, or anything like that. It's something, I mean, you can do your own products, but you have to be dealing with that, all that. Good morning, said Angie. Good morning, Sherry. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Love to know why you're on social media. I'm talking today about how you can make $10,000 on autopilot, um, and there's plenty of people that do that, and they're using the way they're using social media and using that to get exposure, but sending people to an automated system where they're giving them away something for free, and that system continues to start sending emails out automatically on your behalf that you can keep communicating with people, and you can literally have it running 24/7. No matter what you're doing, you could be doing something else. You could be asleep. If you're not doing that and you're trying to monetize and use social media to get a cause out, a company you support, you could have an online or offline business. It doesn't matter what you're doing. But if you're not doing that and you're using social media, you're missing out on opportunities to keep communicating with people, because most people aren't going to buy on first touch, or if you've got something, whatever it is, buy, join, without getting to know you. They're going to want to know more about it. And if you give them something away for free, it's ideal that you're giving them something for free in exchange for their email address. I have a free PDF I give people. I take it very seriously when somebody gives me their email address. I think that's, they're allowing you to communicate with them and market. And if you're not using attraction marketing, it could save you a lot of time that you have people attracted to you rather than you don't have to chase anybody. And attraction marketing is way better. You don't have to bug family and friends. You don't have to private message people, asking them if they take a look at what you're doing. Attraction marketing is way better, and if you're not doing that, I'd suggest you do. If you don't know how to do it, then you need to hire a coach or a mentor, get a program. The program I have, we teach you all that. We teach you the correct way to use social media. We teach you how to build an email list. We teach you attraction marketing, because if you're not doing that, you're missing out on continuing to talk to people, because you're sending them once to a page or something, and they only have one chance to talk to and communicate, and then they're gone. And you're missing out on opportunities, because maybe they won't buy on first touch. And I just had somebody, she got on my email last October 2024. I did talk to her a few times on Instagram, and in July she bought something from me. That's 10 months. She was on my email list. She's following me on Instagram, and she finally made a decision to buy. And that does happen. That's why, being consistent. And then once you start building that email list, you want to be emailing them. Good morning. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. I'm talking about how you can make $10,000 on autopilot this morning. I've been discussing that the last few of these, because that is possible. And if anybody on here, you're working multiple jobs. I did work 2 jobs at once. I know people that are working 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. You can get this down to 2 hours a day. And we had a guy that was working 2 jobs to make ends meet, and he started doing this and started making money from home. He was able to leave that one job that gives him more time to spend with his family. That gives him more time to do things that he wants to do, and he's not chained down to a desk or a cubicle, sitting in an office working for somebody else. This does give you autonomy that way. And anytime I need to do something, I don't have to ask, because if you have a job, you're going to have to ask your boss if you need time off, or you want to take a vacation, or you got something that came up. And this gives you the autonomy to do that, which if you have a job, you'll probably never be able to do that, sorry to say. So if you're jumping on, let me know why you're coming in from, why you're on social media. If anybody has a question that I can answer, drop in the comments, or there's something you're trying to figure out. I can do a training on one of these. Somebody else asked me to do one on social media marketing the other day. If it's something I've done, and I know about, and I've used, and I made money with it, I can do a training. If it's not something, I don't think it's ethical for me to train or teach on something I haven't done. I can probably find some resources for you. I've been doing this a long time, 14 years. I know a lot of things. I don't know everything, but I probably can give you a resource. If you're jumping on, let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know something you like to do. I love going to the movies, which actually I'm doing that this afternoon. Later today, actually, going to see the movie Sorry Baby. It got some really good reviews, and another friend saw it and absolutely loved it. So I'm probably going to shut this down in a few minutes. If nobody else has any questions or something I can help you with, if you do have a question, I'll be here. I'll be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. If you need some help with something and you think about it, you can send an email to lindabomba@payyoudaily.com. If it's something I did, I certainly be happy to do a training on here to help you out, to answer your questions. Yeah, I can do that. And if I don't know about it, and it's something I haven't done or made money with, I can probably give you a resource. Because if I had a guy on here that wanted to learn about CPA marketing, I know what it is. I've got some basics about it. I've never done it. I've never made any money. He wanted me to do a video. I don't think it's ethical. I did give him some resources. There's courses he can get, and the course would probably go in a whole lot more detail for him, that he can go through it, learn it, and then implement it and start using it to make some money. So I'm going to go today. Thank you for coming. I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. I'll see you tomorrow.